What is up, guys? I think we are live. Excited to have you guys in here tonight. You guys ready to break some films down? I'm here at the studio. Just normally Bobby's here, but we're doing the live stream brought to you guys by YOLO Live, who is our awesome sponsor. Love those guys, creators of an incredible product that we use called the YOLO box, and it's really dope. Like, actually really good product. So what they do, it's an awesome thing. Basically, it's a little monitor you can bring, has HDMI inputs, has a little 4G streaming modem in it, and you can just bring it to a wedding and do a 2-cam live stream, even really a 3-cam, because it does have a USB input for you. If you're randomly bringing a USB camera to a wedding, you could do that. So this thing is awesome. So what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to be hanging out. We're trying a little bit of a different format for Wedding Film School, live streaming film critiques. So hopefully you guys like it. Let us know in the comments if you think it's cool. If you would like to submit a film of your own, feel free to submit. I believe we have a link in the description. If not, we'll update it later. The other thing I want to just point out is, because we're going to let a few more people kind of get on. The other thing I wanted to point out about the film critiques is, honestly, it's really great if you're able to submit, but it's also good if you can give some feedback in the comments. We have a chat section right there. And we really love it. So thank you guys so much if you're able to do that as well. And hey, we got a Facebook group. It's a very active community. If you haven't checked it out, we got like 12,000 members in there. Hop in, very active, really cool. We also, if you didn't know, we do a weekly podcast called the Wedding Film School Show. Not the film school show. Up there somewhere it says wedding. So anyway, let's get going in a few minutes. I want a few more people to load on. Let's see what we got in here. What's up, King? How you doing, buddy? Give it a few more minutes, but one of the things about film critiques that I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about is what is our philosophy and why do we do film critiques here at Wedding Film School? Why is that an important part of who we are? One of the things about film critiques that really just rings out to me is you just get better. What's up, Stuart? You just get better when people can give you feedback. So this is by no means saying that we're the experts. Bobby's not here. He is the expert. Or I'm the expert, or Jared's the expert. What we're really trying to say is just, this is somewhat our perspective. If you don't know, my name is Jason McCutcheon. I'm a filmmaker near Boston, Massachusetts. I've been doing wedding films for, I would say, 10 years or so. And we have a brand called Stop Go Love. We shoot Black Magic cameras for a brand called Huxley Film. So we've had a lot of different filmmaking experiences, a lot of different cameras, editing experiences, things like that. So we're just trying to bring our knowledge to these films. We're basically going to be looking at them in really 3 ways. We're going to be watching the entire film. Maybe I might pop in with a little bit of feedback here and there, but we're going to be watching the entire film. And then we're going to actually be, whoa, my thing's froze. All right. Watching the entire film. And then I'm going to give a little bit of feedback on each film. And we're going to be looking at a couple different things. We're going to be looking at the cinematography, the storytelling. And then we're also going to really be, and really those are actually the main 2 things, the cinematography and the storytelling. And of course the editing really matters as well. And that's kind of our main areas of critique we're going to be looking at. The cool thing is I'm going to have a different perspective than Bobby. So if you are a person that is a filmmaker who's used to listening to Bobby, what I love, what's up? How you doing in the Cayman Islands? It must be nice to be down there. If you are a person who used to listen to Bobby, we're going to have a different style, and that's what we love. And actually next week, this is going to be a really cool thing. Next week, we're actually going to have 2 filmmakers doing critiques. We're going to be trying another different format. So we really want to hear your feedback because we want to make this as entertaining as possible, also as informative as possible. How about we get into some film critiques? So the first film critique we got, okay, I wanted to do this one because the filmmaker actually said they didn't have a name. Jay Lapina. Are you here, Jay? Are you in here? Let's see. There, you are here, Jay. Okay, so we're going to do Jay's film first because honestly, like, I loved, I did watch these films ahead of time, by the way, so I can get a little bit of thoughts. I really love when I looked at Jay's thing, he said, I don't have a brand name yet. I was like, this is who we're here for. This is who Wedding Film School is here for. Of course, if you're an experienced filmmaker, we are here for you as well. But we really want to be there for you at the very beginning of your filmmaker journey. And so I was like, I want to take somebody who's like brand new. And it looks like Jay's brand new. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time, Jay, hey, dude, I think you did a really good job in a lot of ways. And so I but anyway, you guys, let's watch a film. All right. How do we get this picture-in-picture thing to work? Oh, well. All right.
Sometimes winning's losing fast and moving past who is right and who is wrong. And sometimes leaving's all I've got, even when I know it's not. 'Cause our love is too strong for that kind of talk to be more than a thought.
This is all Sony A7S3, I believe.
I love you, sundown to sunrise. Sundown to sunrise.
Just keep in mind, guys, this is streaming, so it might look a little jittery. In real life, it doesn't look like that.
And it's the only way to feel the pull of you and me. And took our whole world going black. Oh, and fading fast. Just to finally see that all that we have is all that we need. If you were the stars, and if I was the sky, I'd be jealous just to see you feel another's lonely night. So I'm sending you a message through a broken satellite. I love you, I love you, I love you, sundown to sunrise. Sundown to sunrise.
You are the one
I choose to spend
I choose to spend
my life with.
my life with.
I promise
I promise
to cherish you,
to cherish you,
to honor you,
to honor you,
Like that shot.
to love
to love
and respect you.
and respect you.
I promise to comfort
I promise to comfort
and to encourage you
and to encourage you
in sickness
in sickness
and in health.
and in health.
I'll be jealous just to see you fit another's lonely night. Someone sending you a message through a broken satellite. I love you, I love you, I love you. Sundown to sunrise. Oh, sundown to sunrise. Hey, sundown to sunrise.
Great job, Jay. Jay, so listen, did we get an answer? Was this shot this year? Jay? Was like literally like a few days ago? Hey, listen, so a bunch of things to like about that film, Jay. So I'm gonna probably just be scrolling around a little bit, kind of showing you some stuff. So, I want to get started with just the first thing that I noticed. And I'll try to be last month. Hey dude, nice job on the turnaround. Can you answer this question, Jay? And by the way, King, just so you know, the audio might be harsh because of the streaming, so I don't want you guys to judge it too harshly, but which is why we don't actually include audio as one of our categories for the film critiques, because it's a little unfair unless there's something like that we can really point out. But anyway, Jay, so a couple things here. One of the things you're going to be very tempted to do as a filmmaker is to put a lot of effects in and stylize the film. And I can understand why you would want to. It seemed like it was a pretty laid back day and maybe you want to put a little style on it. This is just a personal pet peeve of mine. When you are doing, if you've never shot Super 8, if you have this little sprocket right here, there would be no footage in the sprocket. Like it would be an empty hole. So I would encourage you, if you're going to do that Super 8 thing in the future, mask out that little area, which I don't know if you can see, but it would be black and it just looks fake and it kind of makes the effect actually not as cool as it could be. The other thing is the sound that we're getting here it's a little too prevalent in my opinion. And I think it could be maybe a little toned down. The other thing about this is I really like a lot of the shots you get. Like it's obvious you have a very good eye. How long have you been doing weddings, Jay? If you don't mind me asking. Well, I'll wait for him to respond, but I'll keep giving some stuff. So the black and white too, like this is just me. I'm not into the black and white stuff. Like I would prefer to that to been like maybe stylized in like a film kind of stock color over the black and white film stock color. And the other thing is I think maybe doing something with the speed. Oh, so you're new. You are new. This is your first ever, Jay. That it makes me so happy. You did it like any of my criticisms are actually compliments. If this is your first ever wedding, can we just hear it for Jay this is his first wedding. He submitted it. He also went big time because he's shooting on A7S III. And yeah, he's going to do really well for himself. So, but there's a lot of really good shots here. A couple of things I also noticed, like this shot right here, like for me, the down tilt shot, I'm just not that into it right there. Is this all gimbal or handheld? Jay. And then I think like there's a couple shots here where I feel like you're kind of locked into this perspective and it kind of hangs for a really long time right here. Right here, it's kind of, and then you got like this shot, which is just kind of just hanging a little too long. They're kind of making some awkward faces. And that's one thing I want to point out is what a cute dog. What a cute dog. When you're looking at this kind of stuff, Jay, there's a couple times throughout the film where people are doing things that make them look a little goofy. And when you're doing a wedding film, you really want to try to like make people look their very best. I would encourage you to maybe get a lens that's a little longer, give yourself a little compression. This shot stuck out to me. I'm going to try to find it. They're kissing right here. Oh no. They're kissing and she's just kind of making duck lips for like a really long time. And you really want to give people their best light. This shot right here is another thing I was going to give you feedback on. If you notice at basically the bottom of this frame, your focal plane is actually up in the right-hand corner. So the second you kind of get into the shot, you're immediately looking in the top right corner. You're not actually drawn to the right area of the frame. So when you're going to do stuff like this, especially when you're at an angle, it might look like you have to realize when you shoot anything that's at an angle, your distance at the top of the frame is going to actually be farther away than your distance at the bottom of the frame because you're shooting at an angle. So you need to really calibrate that motion so that you can actually make sure that people are focusing at the middle of the frame. Now, I don't mind it when people do stylized like things with the focal plane where maybe they put someone in the corner that they really want to focus on. But I think here you were intending on us looking at the center of the frame, and a couple of your detail shots, your depth of focus was too far out. And so you weren't really hitting the part of the frame. So just be really careful when you're doing details, especially that you are putting people's eyes exactly where you want them to be in the frame. There's a lot of good stuff too, though. But I'm going to give you one more thing that I really didn't like. This entire sequence to me, it's not elegant. And I understand the situation you're working with, and the more films you do, the more you will plan for things like this. Beach weddings, by the way, are the most overrated thing in the history of the world. Anyone who's shot beach weddings knows that they always have problems because the environment can just be really tricky. And here we got a bunch of shipping containers right behind the frame and this wire fence and all this stuff. And like maybe you couldn't do anything about it, but I think a more experienced wedding filmmaker would try to not have that stuff in the background. Yeah, it is. If it's a little out of sync, not much I can really do it. I apologize, guys. But I think you're looking at this, and I just think a little more. I did say that. Yeah. You don't want to shoot that. And if you can avoid it, I really think you could have avoided it probably. And as you get more experienced, you probably won't get that shot. It'll probably be a lot better. This is the duck lips shot. Like she's just prime and ready. She's just like really going in there and taken. So here's my encouragement when you're doing kissing scenes with people. Trying to get them into a natural place, getting them to talk, getting them to laugh and then kiss, getting them to kiss multiple times. So that way, the first one that's a little awkward, trying to get them to actually kiss each other in a natural way, I think will really, really help because this is obviously posed. But the good side is you know how to work with light, buddy. And this will serve you well. All this stuff right here, I mean, they're not centered. They could have been a little more centered, I think. But at the end of the day, you know how to work with light. Your color is really good. And there's a lot to like here. So the stuff that you're messing up is more like understanding the pacing of the wedding day, understanding how to work with people. And that stuff you learn with time. You clearly have talent. And so I want to keep reiterating that any of the criticisms we have are really, they're going to get better naturally. And the other thing I was going to say is this, it's a thing that's not in the film. This sequence right here. a really experienced filmmaker, I'm imagining so many shots you could get in this water. And it would have been like your signature session. And I think you could have gotten a lot of stuff on it. And it kind of just, you pass by it really quick. But I'm wanting to see, I'm wanting to see a little more from this part of the day right here, because I think as we got here, it kind of peters out a little bit. Don't love this right here, the yellowy, greeny light. I probably would have white balanced that a little more to soften it up. But other than that, man, really, really good stuff. I really want to give you some, now that I've kind of given you the criticisms, I want to give you some positives. So in terms of just your camera work and your cinematography, I think in terms of your actual ability, you're like a solid way up there. You have a lot of skill. I think there's some things like shooting a lot of the backs of people's heads, kind of missing reactions, people hugging, and then they're like the dance shot where they reveal like their back is to you. I think there's little things like that can be improved. The parts you chose to put in the film. Maybe that's more of an editing thing. I think you're a really good shooter, though, and I want to give you high marks. You're a good shooter. That's your biggest strength, is you know how to shoot, and I love it. In terms of your story, it's a little disjointed. I felt a little disconnected. I would say that's something you can really work on, is learning how to craft story. I am not a person that thinks story means audio, by the way. You can do a ton of story with just visuals. So I would say if you don't feel like you want to be a person who puts a lot of audio in your films, I don't think you should feel the pressure to do that. But I will say taking a person on a journey, making them feel like they know the couple, making them sure you get make a sense of everything going on. I think that's something you can really improve on, and you will improve on, and you're going to be awesome at it. Because I know if that's your first wedding, you're just kind of white knuckling it. And so last thing is the editing. I think this is actually your weakest area. I think it's something that I would encourage you to go watch a lot more films and kind of get plugged in with how other people are doing some stuff. But I think it's going to become a strength because you don't mind taking risks, and you try to do some new things that maybe you hadn't seen in wedding films. And man, I'm just really, really impressed. And I think you did a great job. So why don't I wish we could give him like a virtual round of applause for doing such a great job. Hopefully was that helpful, Jay? Was that helpful stuff? We loved it, man. It was really, really good. I'm really impressed. So, like I said, today's live stream is brought to you by YOLO Live. Jared, you're on there. Could you double check in the descriptions that we have the affiliate link in the YouTube page and make sure so people can go and buy one of these bad boys? Really good, really awesome live streaming and switching device, and something that we use ourselves. Really, really good products. So if you're looking for a live streaming solution for weddings, I would say the YOLO box is one of the best out there. So go get it. YOLO Live, awesome partners of ours. Okay, let's do another film. So the next film we have is from, Wayne, I believe is your name, and Coalition Digital is the company. So this is a 1DX2 wedding. A lot of glide cam in here. There's some 6D 7200 stuff, Mavic Pro. Had 2 shooters at the wedding. Yeah, and so I would say, I wouldn't say new, but 14th film is what he's telling me. So I think towards the beginning of your journey, you're going to keep going. So let me make sure I have the right queued up. No, I don't have the right one. This is the right one. Great. You guys like that when we watch the whole film without any interruptions? Is that better than me just stopping at mid-film? Well, I'm going to do it again, no matter what. So that's what's happening right now. Actually, if you all told me not to, I wouldn't. But here we go.
Father, the heavens declare that you are our infinite personal creator. We have been made in your image to further display your goodness to this world. As this ceremony unravels and comes together, God, you instituted marriage in such a way that we should bless the world through this ceremony. So we ask for a blessing upon all the families here, upon Tom and Em especially, that you lay your hands upon them, and of the bonds that are made today, that your spirit will secure as long as they both have breath in their lungs. In your
Really good
Son's
detail
name we
shots.
pray. Amen.
Remembering being little, all the things.
I'm wondering what's going on. I'm wondering what's going on in the in the previous lighting or the sky in this frame over here. Looked weird to me. Anyway, we'll keep going. I think this film, by the way, might have a recording issue in the middle of it, so I apologize if the audio drops out. As running, I'm not going to try to do this stopping thing. It seems like a cool idea until you try, and then it fails. Keep it going.
God, you instituted marriage in such a way that we should bless the world through this ceremony. So we ask for a blessing upon all the families here, upon Tom and Em especially, that you lay your hands upon them, and of the bonds that are made today, that your spirit will secure as long as they both have breath in their lungs. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Remembering being little, all the things that we would do, all the secrets we shared, all the rough times we went through. You dreamt of this day, always looking for the one to match you and challenge you, and that day to come. A fairy tale beginning you couldn't help but fall for.
I'm sure they loved having this poem included.
With the man that you adore. See, M's not a dancer, but despite this one flaw, there was something special that Tommy Boy saw. That night on the dance floor, her two left feet got a chance. When the special man asked her, "May I please have this dance?" As they danced the night away,
That's beautiful.
well, Emily painstakingly tried. Tom had no idea, but Emily knew she would be his bride. From the dance floor to dating to escrow to now, and a little leak. Your commitments, your love, all promised in vows.
It's 1DX.
You're a very special couple. You make the perfect pair. You bring a wish of happiness you will now forever share.
This outdoor footage looks funny to me, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. It might just be the internet
quote,
connection.
and it's by Stephen Covey. I don't know if anybody knows who he is, but the quote goes, "The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing." And it sounds kind of funny, but it's true. And from here on forward, since you're married, you two will be each other's main thing, and that's what comes first: is you two, your marriage, and then Jesus and God. So make sure to always keep that your main thing, and you guys feel the ride through anything. Okay. All right. I love you guys very much. And I would like to raise a toast for the bride and groom, to Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Forte, to marriage, health, and long life. Cheers. Salute.
So Tom and Emily, a godly marriage must be based on Jesus Christ and an intent to be honest with one another at all times. So Tom, before God and this congregation, do you unreservedly declare that your faith in Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior? Yes, I do. Emily, before God and this congregation, do you unreservedly declare your faith in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Yes.
So Tom, do you take Emily to be your wife, to hold her unique among women? Do you pledge your faithfulness to her in body, mind, and soul, to love her in sickness and in health, in good times and hard times, in wealth or in poverty?
I think it is the
Love
stream
so that
that's
she
for
won't
some
question
reason
your love
this
as long as
can't
you
keep
both
up with the
shall live.
fast moving
If
images.
so, please say I do.
Seems
I do.
a little laggy.
Emily, what he's saying to you is you're unique among women. We know how unique you're. Matt, Molly, we know how unique you are, but he is as well. No other woman can measure up to you in the way that you can encourage and respect Thomas as long as you both live. Emily, do you take Tom to be your husband, to hold him unique among men? Do you pledge your faithfulness to him in body, mind, and soul, to love him in sickness and in health, in good times and hard times, in wealth or in poverty? Will you love him so that he will not question your love for him?
Okay, so this is a thing that I'll always point out to people. This is not natural looking. Like, it was the I think he said 2 shooters, by the way, Carlos. And it's not that it's a bad shot. It's not my favorite shot. Looking at the back of her head, I would have probably preferred more of a profile. But regardless, like, one of the things I'll always give people a criticism on is, like, try to make your couples, especially when you're kissing, try to make it look like it's a natural thing, or romantic or cute or funny or something like that, instead of like this really slow kind of like you just want to, I would encourage you guys, try to, whenever you're doing stuff like that, try and make sure it looks just natural. And if not, I would not put it in slow-mo if it's a little awkward looking, because it really sticks out. And in my experience, I don't like seeing it, but I don't think couples really like to see it, especially guys. They don't want to see themselves like duck lipping their wife for like 10 seconds. So I'd say, like, when you are giving people instruction during a portrait session, trying to make sure it feels natural. By the way, I agree that the colors are great looking. And me as a Canon shooter myself as well, I definitely love it. It's 1DX and 5D Mark IV. This is what I believe is probably, like, most of this stuff is the 1DX2, because it's like your A-cam stuff, and it is beautiful looking and it looks awesome. So keep going.
Long as you live. If so, please say I do.
I do.
I like what you did there, by the way, where you kind of hit those beats. I think you could do a little more of that throughout the film. If you're wondering, like, it feels off sync, the stream is probably making it a little bit off sync, but I don't have it on a stream. I have mine recorded, and I can tell you it's a little laggy. There are parts where people are talking and there's no audio. Like, that is just the film. And I think, like, that was a really nice little bum, 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 bum. That was a cool sequence. And I think throughout this film, especially when you got into this epic song, I feel like you could push the envelope a little more with your cuts and that whole thing.
When a man makes a vow to the Lord, or takes an oath to obligate himself by a pledge, he must not break the word, but must do everything he said.
That is a little out of focus, I believe, that last shot. Yeah. That's a little bit out of focus, I think.
Must not break the word, but must do everything he said. When a young woman makes a vow to the Lord, or obligates herself by a pledge, all her vows and every pledge by which she obligates herself must stand. Ecclesiastes 5:5 says, "It is better to not make a vow than to make one and not fulfill it." So the vows you make today are not mere words to the wind. They are promises recorded at the very throne of God. Vows that have your name and your hearts attached.
I want to show you guys something that we talk to our shooters about a lot. All right. So this right here is a really pretty sequence. I would have preferred them to be centered, but the biggest thing I don't like about it is there's almost you're borderline cutting the groom's feet off in a couple of the frames. I think it could have been a little bit wider. I think it would have felt better. I think you're in like a nice little sense of place. I also, me personally, I would have liked it a little better on a gimbal, but I do understand you're kind of going for that handheld look, in which case I would say, like, you should do more with it. If you want to do handheld, I think you should accentuate it in a few places, maybe get in close, show that action, and give it a little sense of weight if you're going to do handheld, because here you got this handheld and it looks like, I think it's handheld, and it looks kind of like a gimbal, but it's kind of not. And the other thing is just not decapitating people, not cutting people's feet off, I think is a big thing.
To the wind. They are promises recorded at the very throne of God. Vows that have your name and your hearts attached. And so don't take these vows flippantly.
I would like to see the 7-200 in this sequence as well, by the way. 2 shooters. Get the most out of your best time. This is my big tip for you if you're a filmmaker. If you can and you have 2 shooters, getting 2 people during your golden hour session, 1 person on a really tight lens, 1 person on this. If it's not too much and the couple's cool with it, I think it makes a world of difference, because you get a range of footage, and this is important footage, right? This is the money shots that get you that next client.
Take them seriously, that you may live them out and reap the blessing and the joy that comes through the sacrifice of fulfilling them. It's time to say goodbye to singleness. And no, it doesn't come with a tear, nor should it, because God has perfectly knit you and prepared you for this moment, that you can better glorify God together than you could apart. And so it's my honor as a minister of the gospel, as a friend, but ultimately as a brother, to pronounce you husband and wife. Tom, you may kiss your bride.
Don't know where we're going, but I'll go anywhere with you.
It's my joy to welcome into marriage and introduce for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. Thomas and Emily Forte.
Go back a little bit. This shot right here, I don't like it in the middle of the sequence where you have all this sunset footage, this blown out background. I'm not into it. But there's a shot I am into right there. Here's the thing I like about it. A, you got the interest levels. I mean, given, like, let's be honest, we've all seen this shot 100 times. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, by the way. But it's not that this is a unique shot. It's that you have a really, really beautiful exposure. It's got nice warm color. I like that you can see the clouds and the blue from the sky, as well as it's a little blown out from the sun. I mean, it's just a nice looking shot, and it kind of sets the mood. It sets the tone. It's a beautiful shot. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is I don't like it next to this shot. They're so different. And this one's all blown out and kind of bluish. And then you're kind of getting into
First time,
this shot.
Mr. and Mrs.
And this is beautiful. This sets the mood. It lets you know a lot about the day. It's great.
Thomas and Emily Forte.
Beautiful too. Good light. Better shot. Cool.
It's magic, or if I was made for you. That easy love we have it.
So I was gonna say a compliment about this shot, and then it became a criticism. But I do like where your head is. I like pushing in on that. I like going over the table. I don't like how long it takes, and I don't like that you're about to keep panning down. I think I was wrong. You didn't. Good job.
We got that sunrise, apple pies, won't sleep tonight. We'll dive into the blue. We got that good rush, young in love. Let's turn it up, go around the world.
That is out of focus. This right here. Here's I want to say something really quick. When you are shooting weddings, you make a ton of mistakes. All the time. I shoot a lot of stuff out of focus. We actually edit for a lot of wedding filmmakers as well at our studio. and a lot of really really good people that you would know make mistakes and shoot things out of focus. The difference between a lot of the best filmmakers and a lot of newer people is that really good filmmakers don't put shots that are out of focus in their final film. They just don't, even if it's like an important moment, unless the couple requires it, they don't do it. And so I would say that, like, I don't know if this person, like, if they, how long, this is like an 8-minute film. I'm not sure if they paid for this. And so you had to deliver a film this long. In general, and I'll get back to this at the end, this film to me is I would say this film is probably at most a 6-minute film. If Jared and I and Stop Go Love were editing this film, it would be 5 to 6 minutes. And we would not have all that filler stuff of all those sequences where people are just walking still. And well, look, it's another shot of people walking, another shot. And like, there's a lot of really good shots in here. And I just want to give Wayne a ton of credit. He's a good shooter, really good color. I mean, as Jared hates the word, this is very saleable. Like, you could show this to a couple and the next couple would be like, oh, I want that. That's beautiful. You did a great job. And so I don't want to make it seem like I'm trashing it. I can tell you, like, I can tell that you're kind of running out of footage and you're kind of just reusing the same sequence. And so I felt like that was driving how you made the film more so than the natural progression of the way the footage wanted to talk. But we'll get to that again at the end when we talk about story.
Burn it up, go round the world with you, round the world with you. Oh, 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 you're my destination, you're my destination. Oh, 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 you're my destination, you're my destination. No need for directions when you're right next to me. All of your affection is all I'll ever need. 'Cause we got that sunrise, apple pies, won't sleep tonight. We'll dive into the blue. We got that good rush, young in love. Let's turn it up, go around the world with you.
So I want to see more of that square dancing. I want to get in the pit. I want more. I want to feel that moment a little more, because that's a kinetic moment. That's a signature moment. All these people out there square dancing. That's just my opinion. Maybe you weren't able to, but I personally would want to see some tight stuff, some wide stuff. I want to get those faces. I want to have people. It's about 9 minutes. By the way, in terms of crushing the blacks, it probably looks a little more crushed blacks on the live stream. It doesn't look quite that much, but I do agree. You get those nice saturated blacks on Canon.
Round the world with you. Oh, 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 you're my destination. You're my destination. Oh, 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 you're my destination. You're my destination.
That's it. Good job, buddy. There we get Coalition Digital. That's the name of his company. And that's a random guy that just popped up at the end of the when I was playing it. But Coalition Digital, want to give him all the props. Wayne, is Wayne here? Are you here, Wayne? He's not here. So listen, Wayne, you're going to watch this later. Hopefully you got the email. But regardless, so I got a lot of things I like about the film. In terms of cinematography, clearly, this is my guess. There's a lead shooter who was really, really, really good. And then there's a second shooter who seems a little less experienced, and you had to use some of the shots. And I could tell very much that when you were cutting back and forth between the first shooter and the second. And so that's something I noticed. In terms of whoever was the main shooter, really good shooter. Like, I was into a lot of that stuff. I would love to have a person like that on our team. Really good. There's a lot of things in there in terms of cinematography I really liked. They knew how to work with light, challenging lighting situations where it's really, really, really bright. And there's a lot of positives like that. In terms of some of the composition, I think some of the composition really could have been another level up. There's things in here like sequences like here where like you have the horizon line and it's not really indicating anything. And I think I probably would have preferred to see the couple lined up with that mountain peak over there, or maybe a little lower. I mean, there's a lot of information in the shot that's actually just kind of junk down at the bottom. And like, there's things like that. I think the walking stuff, some of the handheld shooting where it could get a little more improved, and this is one of my big pet peeves actually with wedding filmmakers is shooting the backs of people's heads or including that. Like they're spinning in a circle. Don't put the part in the film where the back of their head is, or put the front, like faces. We always tell our guys, wedding films are all about people's faces. People like if you've had a baby, like they want to see faces. They want to have people connecting with eyes. And for you as a wedding filmmaker, that's your goal. Your goal is to make people feel like, who are watching the film, the family members and whatnot, that they are kind of locking eyes with that person. Just like if I'm looking at this and I'm doing this, you don't feel as connected than if I look directly at you and talk to you in YouTube land. And I think it's the same way with our wedding films. There's a lot of backs of heads and like that could be used sometimes, but I would say in general, like especially during portrait sessions, like a lot of side of the back of the head stuff in this film that I think could be a little better. But overall, I mean, you're a very good shooter. You're a very good shooter. I would have liked to see a little more details towards later in the day, but I know how that gets sometimes because at the beginning of the film, there's these really tasty details. And I think I didn't really see a lot of that as the day went by. So, yeah. And like I said, some of the dance floor footage, I would have liked to see a little more of intimacy, either like a tighter lens or getting in there because I didn't feel the dance floor. I want to feel a dance floor. To me, that's like the moment you draw someone into the film. In terms of storytelling, like I said before, I think this film is probably because they paid for the length. It's not a 9-minute film. I mean, I think almost no films are 9-minute films. Like we don't even sell one of those with Stop Go Love because we're like, I think wedding films are, when you hit 7 minutes on these things, they're not really in their best. So I think storytelling wise, if you had to make a film this long, there's a lot of the ceremony, a lot of the officiant who, not my, like I didn't really get to hear or experience the bride and groom hardly at all. There was a lot of this officiant. And I think, that's okay. I would have liked to see more of the bride and groom. The poem was probably a really nice addition for the couple. That was probably really meaningful to them. I like that. I like that you included it early as well, because I think it draws people into the film. And it's kind of like exists a little bit outside of time because it's just a nice little artistic element. But in general, I think you kind of took people on the journey. I just think it took a long time to get there because my guess is the couple paid for a longer film. But this is why I think these are always not the best films to show people, because if you don't know the couple, it's hard to really care about the film for more than 5 minutes. Sorry, just how it is. In terms of the editing, I think it's totally fine. I think it could be a little tighter to the beat. I think you could do that. I also think using a little more tight shots, especially in your portrait sessions, would be helpful, because I felt distant. Again, like the same thing with the story. I didn't hear the couple. I didn't get to really get in close with them. It didn't feel as intimate as it could have been. And I think that could have been some editing choices that you made to feature this wide stuff, because it was obvious you were in kind of a nice setting, let me see if I know where this was shot again. Let's see. Here's the thing about this. He charged $1,500 for this, guys. This is much better than a $1,500 film. If you're shooting on a 1DX, like, you should be charging much more than $1,500. Because it's definitely worth way more than $1,500. So if you can get anything out of this, the critiques are whatever. I don't think a couple would care about this stuff. I think they would freaking love it. And I want to tell you, really good job. But I will say, if I can give you any advice, you should be charging more than that, because this film is worth more than that. And you did a good job, buddy. So, all right, guys, do you have anybody in the comments want to kind of weigh in? While we're kind of doing that, I just wanted to tell you, this is brought to you by YOLO Live. They are the sponsor of this show, and we're so grateful for them. Definitely check out. We got an affiliate link down below if you're on YouTube. And actually, we should paste one. Jared, can we paste one into Facebook as well? For anybody who's interested in buying the easiest all-in-one live streaming and switching solution. You can go on YouTube, Facebook, a bunch of other platforms. I think probably like Restream, and you can connect it any way you want. It has 4G LTE in it, and this thing will work really well if you want to add. Oh, and hit this thing again. It's gonna be like crazy over here over the YOLO box. If you want to add live streaming to your wedding, filmmaking, sales packages, I think it's the cheapest way to get in. It's like $800, guys, and this thing will do it all. So check it out. So we're gonna look at another film. This next film, is brought to us by, let's see who it is. Saffron Media. I don't know if you're here. Are you here? Can somebody convert 6,500 CAD? What is that? What is even that dollar amount? Let's see. Canadian dollars. Let's see. That is, what is that, like $4,000 American? What's up? Are you in, where are you out of in Canada? Just waiting for a response. No, I'll keep going. Yeah, that's about $5,100 US. So I picked this film because I like the name of your company, to be honest. Toronto. Toronto is a great city. If you guys have never been to Toronto, a lot of fun. Really great city. So let's check this film out. Here we go. Whoa. That got going with a bang. My fault.
Josh and Harshni met at one of Toronto's finer establishments, the Fox and the Fiddle. It was a get-together for Josh's going-away party. Harshni wandered through the door and she was approached by Joshua. She immediately became trapped in the sticky, beer-soaked floor. The music was too loud for a conversation.
I want to show you guys something. So, how do you say? Is it Sean or Sean? I'm just gonna say the best I can. Sean. Oh no. So I want to show you one quick thing that, to me, when we talk through how to set this stuff up. Who knows what I'm gonna say about this frame? What am I gonna say about this frame? I want to see what Jared knows. What am I going to point out about this? The outlets. Yeah, I would have. I would include the shot. I probably would. And so I don't criticize you for putting it in there. I will just say next time you won't put it in there because you won't shoot it. And this, actually, the first two films, I wanted to say this, and I'll say this about this film. One of the things you're going to learn as a wedding filmmaker is just when to be assertive and when to tell a couple or subject, hey, go here or go there, or like, and you won't be shy about it. When you first start doing stuff, you're going to be a little bit shy telling people what to do. But in the future, you're going to go, hey, can we move you away from these outlets? And like, you won't have any issues with that at all. The other thing I think is, yeah, you know, yeah, I think that's really it. I guess like without knowing the shape of the room, you maybe could have positioned them a little better. And I get it. You don't want to blow them out. And these are tricky lighting situations. So that is my feedback. So moving on.
Music was too loud for a conversation and it was dark. Everything was in Josh's favor.
That's fun.
For many years, we have prayed for the girl our son would marry, that she would be both beautiful inside and out. A girl.
So that, Sean, that feedback is in the video, right? The audio feedback from the DJ. Yeah. If you didn't notice, there's a little ring on the speech. That's a bummer, man, when that happens. So you can't do much about that, but it does happen from time to time.
Whose qualities would complement Joshua's, that together they would make the perfect pair. Harshini, you fit that description so well. And if we had a choice in a daughter, you would have been that one.
Honestly, he's one of the best guys I've known. He's genuinely like a really, really good guy. I can't even say one thing that's really bad about him. It's awesome that he found someone who's equally as special as he is, and everybody loves you and they love her just as much. And it's just awesome to see you guys. I know you guys have been apart, been a long distance relationship, and to see you guys come together, it's amazing. It really is.
Just my opinion on something, and probably some people disagree with me here. My opinion is I would have liked this shot a little better if we came straight at it or at a very deliberate angle, but it looks a little bit like it's kind of I would say this shot is drifting. And the other thing I don't like about it is the mic stand right there. I would have moved that, but anyway, well, I'll show you what I mean so you can kind of see it. It's kind of in between a push in and it's kind of just like meandering there unintentionally. So I would say, like, if you're going to do those, like, I would encourage you, go check out, obviously he's incredible, but go check out Sculpting with Time, Alex Douglas, or a lot of these filmmakers, to be honest, at the way that they take arrangements like that, floral arrangements, kind of epic luxury wedding filmmakers. And they have a very intentional approach towards, very intentional when they're going towards detail elements, because that tells you what to look at. It feels a little better and it gives you a little more sense of pacing. So, yes.
You've been invited today to share with Joshua and Harshini a most important event in their lives.
I love this reaction. Also, really, what a beautiful bride. Beautiful dress. Look at this face. This is why we do our jobs, folks. Like, it's authentically goofy, and I like that because you're telling a story right there. You're letting everyone know, like, he's smiling. He's, as Tyra Banks would say, he has smiling with his eyes, and like that's the kind of stuff that you got to make it in your film, and you got to really look for that stuff. And the more experienced you get, and I would just want to give you there's a lot of shots like this, Sean, where you just really, what you're looking for, and you're kind of giving the audience, which in this case is a couple, exactly what they're looking for. So you're connecting with them emotionally. And I really like the shot. I like that you caught the moment. Of course, you can't force people to do things like this, but if you're in kind of new wedding filmmaker and you're looking, this is a great example of showing something that communicates. This is story to me, not just audio. This right here is story. This shot right here, it tells a story just in itself. Beautiful shot.
Harshni, from the very moment I met you 7 years ago, I knew you were someone special and unique. Some way, somehow.
Look at that officiant's microphone.
From all those Facebook essays, Skype calls, date nights, and just dealing with a long-distance relationship has led us here. You saw something in me that at that time did not see in myself. You believed in me when I did not believe in myself. You uplifted me when I felt like my world was crashing down. I honestly can't believe these past 7 years have gone by so fast, and now we are standing here.
I am proud, lucky, and so excited to know that you are the man that I get to spend the rest of my life with. You have a heart of gold, your energy is so infectious, your determination is unbreakable, and you always strive to grow and be better. I promise to spend the rest of my life showing you and making you see what I see in you every day.
These are good detail shots. Here's the thing about this kind of stuff. You know, in my opinion, we have to shoot these shots as wedding filmmakers, especially if you're at a certain price point. And so just kind of like nail the focus and make the move deliberate, and it's good. And this is a good example if you're a new wedding filmmaker of just tables. Shoot the tables. Don't get too crazy. Get it over with. Shoot them. They look good. What are we going to talk about right here? What are we going to talk about, guys? Anybody? Come on. Come on. Sean, tell me what we're going to talk about in this shot. Is that you? Is that you right there? Did you make a cameo in your wedding film? Yeah, so I would just say yeah, a little bit. The room is small, so that's part of it. The shot there, is that a 24 millimeter lens, Sean? It could even be wider, but it looks like 24 to me. I would say, you know, obviously try not to get the shooter in there, but the other thing is definitely maybe a little bit of a 35 mil or 50 mil for this kind of stuff. Maybe would be a little bit better. But the other thing is, you don't have to include it in the film. Like you don't have to put that shot in there. You could have used second shooter's shot, and maybe that would have been better. I probably would not include this shot no matter what because of that guy just standing there. So that's my opinion. I want to get a little picky because I see an opportunity here, Sean, to make this epic, and I feel like slightly missed. Okay. Me as a musician, as an editor, right here, you're going to have this flourish on your strings coming up. First of all, I like this. This is fun right here. But it's going to have this flourish. And there's also this move by the dancers. And I think if you could have synced them up really quick, like, ba-na-na-na, I think you would see like it would have another life to it. Watch. If that was full speed, it would be a lot better than it being in slow motion, because you have a flourish and you want a flourish of motion. And I think like it would feel like it was almost like deliberate, like she was part of the song. And so I always think like using slow-mo and full speed footage to really, really, really give a sense of movement. I think actually a lot of that dance floor footage would feel better full speed than slow-mo, because it would, I think going back and forth is good too, but when you're kind of trying to give people a sense of pacing, I think it would feel a little better.
I have seen you from a timid, shy young girl.
Right there is another opportunity. You got that reverse symbol. And man, if it was like that reverse symbol with that dress shot.
I have seen you from a timid, shy young girl to now you have become this resilient, strong, confident, and inspiring woman, which makes me want to just take a moment and say, I'm so proud of you.
Man, I don't know if I'd put that in the film. Yeah, just the lighting is not flattering, although it's a nice shot. So maybe, I don't know what you were working with, but just if you could have not put it in the film, I would have not put it in the film. Did you loop that music right there? Yeah, that sucks. Couples request. Did you loop that music right there, Sean? And actually, really quick, was this film a film that they paid money for a certain length of film, so you had to make it 6 minutes? Is that what you're trying to do? Because I noticed an audio little thing with the song that felt unnatural, and it could have been maybe. There's a lot of good stuff in here, by the way. Right there. Yeah, okay. I would say when you're looping songs, you got to be really careful that doesn't stick out. And my big editing tip right here is when you hang the tails over each other, make sure that you always have 2 songs playing at the same time. That way you never hear one song and the other song starts. Like, give yourself a little more handles on both of your audio, and it will come across more natural.
Everything you do should be for the betterment of the other. You are no longer 2 separate individuals, but one. Enjoy each other, be best friends, listen and speak in wisdom and love. May you both live a peaceful and blessed life together. May your dreams always come true.
Good last shot, buddy. Okay, there's a lot to like, man. There's a lot to like. First of all, you are clearly good at what you do. You're a good shooter. And I really, really, I don't want you to be discouraged by my criticism, because I think it was really good. Yeah, I like the logo too, Jared. I want to bring Jared on really quick. What's up, dude? He has a crappy webcam, but you know what? He's our
I have a crappy microphone too.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool.
Everybody? I just wanted to bring you up to say hi to everybody.
Oh yeah, hi everybody. Really good film, Sean. That was really awesome. And something that I don't think was mentioned was just the consistency of color. Like across the board from beginning to end. It was just super consistent.
Yes, that's
good
true.
work, man. That was fun.
All right, get out of here, Jared. It was really good. There's a lot of stuff I liked. The logo's good. Your branding is good. The pacing is really, the pacing was something where that's why I asked, did they pay for a 6-minute film? Not knowing the footage. This is my opinion. If I was editing that and I had to make that 6 minutes, what I would have done is I would have made 2.5 films. I would have made the first film, the second film, which is what you did. I would have cut that out, and that last 45 seconds, I would have done a dance party, and I would have shot it that way. I would have got some tight, like, I would encourage you, go look at Henry Martin's work and look at how he shoots a dance floor. Not to say you should copy it, but there's a lot of people who shoot dance floors really well. And like doing like a 45-second, this is something I really learned from watching a lot of really good filmmakers, like a 45-second party drop at the very end of your film. I really think gives it a really kick, and it makes it come out, and you can kind of like, I do like the power intros, although this one felt a little dramatic and maybe a little bit like I'll just go back to it. It was a little weird to me, but I think you can also do the same thing with the end of your film, or you can kind of just make it feel a little more energetic, because it felt like we were just milking that song and it was dead. So I want to show you this. This feels a little weird to me. This is one of the first things I noticed. So I'm a big fan of the power intro. Jared knows this. I do it as much as I could. But I think it's a little clunky, and I think you could kind of hit those points a little harder. And if you weren't doing everything slow motion, and one of the things I'd encourage you to do is speed ramping, or, going from fast into the slow mo and kind of giving it a bit of more of a sense of pacing, going with the music more. And just my 2 cents. I don't really love the song because it's obvious to me that those strings are fake. And that's one of my personal pet peeves in wedding films, is using fake strings. I try to look for songs with real strings. I love the idea though. I love the idea. And I think doing that kind of power intro, it works. It's really good. So there's a lot to like there in terms of cinematography. You're a really good shooter. I think you overuse your gimbal and your slow-mo a little bit, but I think that's nothing you won't fix. You're an awesome shooter, and you're going to keep evolving as a shooter. I would encourage you, just looking at your skill set, that when you 2+ minutes. Yeah. But 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever. But I'm just saying, if you're like, I'm out of song, just pick a crazy song and do like 60 seconds. At the end. It'll really give the film some life. But anyway, sorry. As a cinematographer, you're a very good shooter. I would give you a couple quick criticisms. First of all, you do a lot of parallax shots. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of when you keep a center subject, you take your gimbal and you kind of move it around. A lot of that move, and that's a great move, and you can do it a lot, but it was just like over and over and over and over. A lot of that move and a lot of slow-mo, like you had brought up. I think just kind of pop and still, getting people's facial reactions, giving me a sense of place a little bit, maybe would have been helpful. In terms of story, I think actually you did a really good job. There's a lot of I kind of got a sense of who the couple was. I got a sense of the type of day it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, they seemed a little bit like serious, but they were also, you can tell they really loved each other. So there's a lot of stuff in there to like. You said, actually, I wanted to point this out to the audience. It says one of our first times utilizing audio in a film. And I think that I don't think that shows. It seems there was a few parts where the audio didn't sound the best, but I don't know that you could have done anything about it. I think it comes across like you know what you're doing with audio. And so keep doing that. Keep learning more and more about that. but I really think you actually did a good job with the audio. And in terms of the editing, I think your style, you should go look at some really high-end luxury filmmakers. If you're really attracted to that kind of song, looking at some of the people out there who are doing like heavy gimbal work. I brought up Sculpting with Time before. Actually, this reminds me a little bit. There's a little bit of Ray Roman in there. You know, I feel like if you're attracted to that, you should go look at how they present details and locations, because I think having a little more of intentionality with how you present that will help your films. And then of course it'll give you more editing pop. So that's my biggest thing with the film, is it did lack pop. It lacked a sense of tension and drama, even though the songs were that way, because it was kind of just like parallax, slow-mo, parallax, slow-mo, parallax. And they're all good. They're all very good parallaxes and very good slow-mos. But I think as you kind of go to that next level, I think it could have been a little bit, I think you could put a little more pacing into the film. So anyway, that being said, really good. And just so you guys know, I watch these films ahead of time because I'm not going to put a film in there. I'm not going to put a film in here that I can't say overall really good. Because Jared knows I cannot lie. If your film sucks, I will just be like, this film sucks. This is not a good film. Back to the drawing board. See ya. So I don't make that stuff up. I'm not just going to say it's good just because I want you to like us and subscribe to our channel, which I do. Like our channel, subscribe to our channel, hit that little bell. It's awesome. If you haven't noticed, we're dropping a lot more content on Wedding Film School. We got our normal content, the tutorials. Hopefully you saw how to film a wedding ceremony. We released that this week. Gonna have part 2 coming next week. But I really encourage you. I know Wedding Film School has been traditionally known for film critiques and BTS videos, and of course the how-to videos. We really want to be putting the show out there because we really believe that what's going to help you is getting to know really good filmmakers. And I'm telling you this, we got two of the best wedding filmmakers on our show next week. We got Andrew and Grace from Bottle Brush Films. They're going to be on the Wedding Film School show on Tuesday. We cannot wait. It's a really good episode and you're going to love it. They're awesome. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to do another film. Thank you so much, Sean, for submitting. Hopefully that was helpful. All right. This next film is, what is the name of their company? Envisage Films. Let's see. Did I miss this one? Here we go. And yeah, it's just in terms of the details on the film, we got, sorry, I forgot to read these before, but so these are some Australian friends of ours. Hopefully they know who Andrew and Grace are from Bottle Brush. Hopefully they'll listen to our podcast or watch our show on YouTube. I put this one last because I was thinking, you know what, this is the appropriate ending because reminds me of 2020, this was their 3rd wedding date due to postponement. This is a Lumix wedding, which we haven't had any of those, which is cool. 4K natural profile. Apparently he had some bad light in the reception, so keep that in mind. It has a bunch of lights, aperture 120Ds, aperture 300Ds, Fresnel attachments on those. And so this is a thing. And so I watched the film ahead of time, and you can tell these films because and it's not his fault at all. We will always have these where you don't have much of a portrait session. And I'll tell you, like, that is one of the big moments as a wedding filmmaker when you have to work with a wedding film where you don't have what you normally have to make your films. And so I wanted to pick this because A, COVID wedding, B, it has some elements that I think are worth discussing as wedding filmmakers. And there's some ways that I think they handled this well. So anyway. No, I'm going to restart this because I'm an idiot. Forgot. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Emma and John, I welcome you here today. They started on different sides of the world, one a summer baby and one a winter baby. John and Emma studied together at Roseworthy University, but they never managed to meet, as Emma's academic pursuits and John's social pursuits meant they rarely crossed paths. The rest, they say, is history, and has led them to where they are today, to celebrate the commitment.
Okay, that's cool. You know, Jared and I have disagreements on this. Jared, you don't like you're on camera, by the way. You don't like shooting drone shots with the couple, right?
I don't like sometimes. I would say sometimes maybe it's overused, sometimes it's just can come across as
But
cheesy.
this one's cool, right?
I think that's really cool. Yeah.
It's a good job. This shot right here is really cool. Here, there's a bunch of things. I'm an architecture nerd a little bit, and I like the composition of this. I like that it's centered. It just feels like organized and produced. And I also like the little foreground of the tree. It's a cool shot. So good job.
Commitment they have made to each other.
I could go without that shot.
So Emma and I, we somehow managed to meet after uni following a recommendation from Greg Davis. Apparently there was this dreamy pig girl who went through Roseworthy at the same time with beautiful eyes. And
Okay, let's look at this too. I mean, he's good. This guy's good. So I should say, by the way, this was edited by No Backlog, who's a channel partner. Jason is part of what we do here at Wedding Film School, and also they're great. They edited this film. They did a really good job. I really am into this lighting sequence right here because a lot of times I don't like it when you see like the orange light and the white light, but this is cool looking, man. Like the second the shot hit, you immediately look at that person giving the speech. And I think that's tough to do. So good stuff. Good stuff.
beautiful eyes, and I just never met her. I eventually tracked down this elusive pig girl, and being the true romantic I am, I asked her to the local pig industry dinner.
I could do with a few less shots of flowers, but they are all good shots of flowers.
There was a period of time when John and I were at uni and our early working lives where I described John as selfishly unselfish. John was a pretty good guy before he met you, Emma. He has become a man that I'm immensely proud of as a friend.
I like that. That was a great sequence because first of all, you see this friend. Second of all, Jared, are you talking to me or talking to someone else? Oh, sorry. I see him talking and he's grayed out my screen. Yeah. I like it because you can get a sense of these people, just who they are and what their friendship is. He's talking, he's saying a very heartfelt thing. And then additionally, you got these nice shots of them and their friends hanging out. You can tell that, and they look nice too, man. This is beautiful looking footage. You can tell, man, that these are they're good friends. And I like that. I like when I feel like I can get to know the couple a little bit. And it's not just one of the things you're going to learn early on as a wedding filmmaker. And if you don't, you might not make it, is it's not just about the couples, especially to the couple. When you sell someone a wedding film, you're selling them the relationships that go with their wedding. And good filmmakers will figure out a way to make this couple not only see themselves, but to see the relationships attached. And I feel like this sequence, it's short, it's quick, and it's not like this long drawn out thing of them hanging out. It's like 2 or 3 shots, but I feel like you captured the vibe. So I like that.
He has become a man that I'm immensely proud of as a friend and conveniently a great human.
Our married life didn't begin until the 21st of December 1990 when Emma appeared
She was always smiling, always happy. This is when she began to really shine. An award-winning PhD in veterinary science. She became Dr. Emma Greenwood, and we couldn't have been more proud.
Let's look really quick at how good this is lit too. We got really nice hair light, rim light. Looks beautiful. Nice isolation. Shades of Fior film. Not quite that dark, but I just like it, man. It's very intentional. It feels good. I like it when I feel like I can see the letter, which I guess you can control, but it just looks cool to me. Like, it's a great shot. And that guy has a dope coat.
So I first met Jonathan 11,268 days ago, Christmas Day. Tonight, I will give Jonathan the presents I have missed over the years. This present showed your complete bias towards pretty dark-haired women. It's a guess who game. Luckily, he's got his own pretty dark-haired woman that he doesn't have to choose it.
Emma and John wanted a little.
This is another really good. I mean, you're a good man. So, this is great storytelling. This is a big part of what the day is. It's relationships, man. This is the mom. I'm assuming this is the mom and the bride. And I love it. I love this because it's personal and it really makes me understand the type of relationships they have, the tenderness. Really cool, man. Good job.
Emma and John wanted a little reflection about the silly year we've all had, and that although they had a beautiful, intimate ceremony earlier in the year and became legally married, it is really important that we recreate it so that those who are close to them can witness their commitment to each other and celebrate their marriage.
In the dark of the night, follow the light, come back home.
If I was no backlog, I would have maybe hit that edit a little harder. In the dark, cut. So, but I know you didn't do that. So next time you tell no backlog, hey, hit that a little harder.
Yes, I will marry you, my dear. You may not apprehend it, but when the tumble dryer goes, it's you will have to mend it. I do see great advantages, but none of them are for you. And so before you see the light, say I do, I do, I do.
I love you for not only what you are, but for what I am when I am with you.
This one.
I love you for not only what you have made yourself, but for what you make me. I love you for the bringing out the part of me that very few people look far enough to see.
I cannot promise you a life of sunshine, riches, wealth, or gold. I cannot promise you an easy pathway.
This right here is a weirdly, this is an advanced frame. Like, this is a frame that you see experienced filmmakers get that maybe newer filmmakers don't get. This shoulder up frame, and it's just a cool shot. I really like this shot right here. I would say I would like it even wider. It'd be fun, but it's a great shot and it looks cool. I like to like the reaction he's giving because she doesn't even know he's making that face, but he's making that face. So that's cool.
That leads away from change or growing old. But I can promise you all my heart's devotion, a smile to chase away your tears of sorrow, a love that is ever true and ever growing, a hand to hold in yours through each tomorrow.
Today you stand on the threshold of a lifetime of happiness, and in recognition of the promises that you have made to each other, I now declare you husband and wife. John, you may now kiss your bride.
Between us and torn apart, you know. Left in the silence, how lonely the night gets. Hold on to it all, you know. The
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to add my welcome to you all to the fantastic wedding of John and Emma, or Gemma, as they will now be known. Love was the epitome of family, strength, and trust, especially when
That's a cool. This is not a good shot. It is an important shot, and this is a thing where you really look at again, experienced filmmaker. They know this matters. This is a story element. The other thing I was going to say, Jared brought it up right here. We got also experienced shooter, right? That's a light bulb. That shot is a boring, stupid shot. And then you add this light bulb and it suddenly becomes a really cool shot. And I like that he has the next one too.
was the epitome of family, strength, and trust.
You got that nice foreground.
Physically separated
good.
from one another. So, although we are physically distanced, let us appreciate
So cool.
that in some part, the
Love this
angst
stuff.
we feel due to our distance is also a demonstration of the love that we have for each other.
As you could hear from the vows today, we can appreciate that Emma and John know each other pretty well. They are kind, fun, and caring. And looking into a crystal ball, I see Emma and John 30 years from now.
So I'm not sure. The audio seems to have cut out. We'll keep going. Sorry about this. Yeah, I said that, Jared. It's a little bit of Fiore-ish. The audio comes back. Sorry. Right in the middle of that wonderful story.
Completes Emma. He seems to be a good soul. He's someone I can trust to cherish and protect Emma early in their marriage.
Okay. I want to show you guys this too. That is so cool. That's a great shot. Man, you're hired. Okay. This is a good, bad shot. Because when you see inexperienced shooters, they often don't know what to do with these lighting situations. They don't know what to do. They'll just keep cranking it, until you get noise or something. And like, instead of just kind of leaning into the darkness, making sure that your white balance is kind of consistent, not kind of bouncing back and forth, changing. This is a good use. And so like, it's not a shot that I would write home about, but it's family. That does matter to the couple. And inexperienced shooter wouldn't know how to handle this situation. So these are the little things that you start looking for in an experienced shooter is how do they work with bad light? And like, this is orange. So you just lean into the candlelight, right? And you just lean into it and it didn't feel jarring at all. It's not going to stick out as this great shot, but it is it's an important kind of thing. So when you see these, you go like, oh, this person knows what they're doing.
Early in their marriage, and then to be a punch bag and whipping boy later on, and he's no longer strictly necessary. I wish them both the best life that it's possible to have, full of love, laughter, friendship, and warmth.
I also wish they hit that harder. That's all. Bum, bum, bum. I wish they hit that a little harder.
I was definitely ready, and I thought I'd ask Emma to marry me. But now there were two significant hurdles in front of me. A ring, and worse, I had to ask John for his permission.
Finding our way back home.
Emma, when we first met, I knew you were something special. Your quick wit had me off guard. Through all the little and big hiccups we've experienced over the last 18 months, we've never faltered from supporting and loving each other. The little moments
What a fun sequence.
Smile or whisper in my ear that you love me or give me that big bear hug, I know I am the luckiest man. Please Please all raise your glasses to my wonderful wife, Milda.
Can I ask about that last sequence, Adam? Was that a separate session with the couple? That this sequence right here. Okay, so this is a cool sequence, and I like that you chose to end with it. Did you bring that smoke and haze? Did you bring that? Or was it? I was gonna say with this sequence, I would have liked to see. By the way, that's cool how you lit the band up there. I would have liked to see a little more, maybe moodiness, a wider shot, something there. I didn't really get a sense of the couple, but I do think that's a good sequence. It looks good. Yeah, and I'm really glad you did that. And so I'll say this, really, really good film. Let's see the logo so everybody can see it. Hopefully I had it. All right, let's keep going. Sorry. There you go, guys. Really good film. A lot to love here. Truly a lot to love. I mean, you're a good filmmaker. The end. So it's just, and no backlog, man. No slouches. We actually have a 10% off no backlog if you're a new customer. And yeah, but yeah, that makes sense. There's a lot of situations. If for those on Facebook, he said I couldn't do wide. All the tables and chairs were stacked at the back. That happens, man. You can't always get the shot you want. And so that's why I was like, I'm not sure what it was, but it was really good. No backlog, edit it. If you go there, use the code WFS10. If you're new and you've never outsourced with them, you can get a really cool 10% off deal for new customers. And they did a great job. They edited this film. And so Jared will tell you where to go. For no backlog. But yeah, they did a great job. And so, yeah, man, I mean, I wanted to use this film because, first of all, it's a good film. Clearly, I'm sure Adam would be the first to tell everybody it's not a perfect film, but it's a very good film. Like the things I had mentioned primarily are editing, where I think there's a few moments that could have hit a little harder. That being said, you got to pay for those. If you're outsourcing that, you got to pay for them to speed ramp it. And like, that's the stuff where you start nickel and diming people and you start bringing price up. And so I totally understand why you wouldn't do that. If you were doing it yourself, Adam, I might've been like, hey, hit those edits a little harder on those big moments. But other than that, I didn't have too much criticism. I can't remember a shot that I'd be like, that was a bad shot. Like I said, there was a few too many shots of flowers in there, maybe. But I mean, it was really well shot, really good job. And honestly, like I normally am not a Panasonic guy. I normally don't like how they look, but I really liked how that film looked. It was awesome looking. It's really, really good. And like it looked good. You kind of influenced my opinion of like how these films can look. Let's go find some bees just for fun. Let's look at a bee. so I want to bring out a couple things. First of all, this was a crappy, if you remember, 2020 wasn't the best of years. It was kind of crappy. And you could tell, man, that like, this is just people fighting to be happy, right? That's what weddings are. Is like, when in the middle of our lives, we're fighting to be happy. We're just trying to make life awesome. And I look at this and I go, this is why we make wedding films. We make wedding films so we can be connected to that emotion. So we can, we make money off people being happy. That's great. A lot of people make money off of like destroying the environment or doing all kinds of terrible crap. And so if you are like in our industry and you're wanting to get into wedding films, you get to make money off of making people happy, off of putting something out into the world that it makes it better. Like, if you watch this film, you're better. You're a better person. You're a happier person. They're happier. We're all happier. Everyone feels good now. We watch this beautiful film with this beautiful couple, and we feel like we know them. We feel plugged in. And I would say story, cinematography, great. Story, A+. Really incredible. I sure like that. I'm not a big fan of destroying the environment, but I love wedding films. That's really one of my primary things when I think about. But the story was awesome. It was a really good story, and I feel like when you think about story, it's an overused word because what most people mean is, did it have a lot of audio? I could give two craps if you have a lot of audio or whatever. I've seen films with no talking that had incredible story. It's really about, did it have a narrative arc that pushed it forward? Did you create tension in your film? Was there a sense of tension, even if it's like more of a suspension of a payoff? That kind of tension. And I think this film did it all. It kind of just created a narrative movement. And again, I know you didn't edit it, but I know you shot it and like you gave the direction. And so I give you a lot of credit for that story and just being very story centered with what you shot. And I know you say like story over cinema. To me, cinema is story. Like, good shooting is all about good communication. And you communicated very well who the couple was, what was important to them. And I got a sense of what was going on. In editing, no backlog. They killed it. Like I said, head over to No Backlog, WFS 10, and you can get 10% off your first film. And if you're like, that was a good film, that was really well edited, I would like one like that, you can get it. Just head over to nobacklog.com. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys really, really, really enjoyed the live stream today. We're going to be doing it again. I think we're going to be aiming for 8 p.m. every week. Is 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. better? Let us know. Again, Tuesday, we got another Aussie, two Aussies on our show. We got Bottle Brush Films on the Wedding Film School show. If you haven't watched the show, it's an hour-long show. We know that's long, but we're trying to put some work into it and make it something that's just a part of your weekly cadence. So head on over there, check out the Wedding Film School show. And then we got a couple more videos dropping next week. We're trying to drop 4 videos a week, guys. So hopefully get us up there, like our videos, share them. It really helps the channel. And we want to keep making content like this for you guys. If you want to submit a film, go ahead and do that. We're going to be doing film reviews again. Probably pretty soon we're going to do pricing reviews. And then we're probably going to also be doing some website and branding critiques as well. But we're going to keep doing some film critiques for a little while just so we can get our bearings under us. So, hey, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight on the Wedding Film School live stream. For film critiques. We had a really, really good time. Thank you, everyone who submitted a film. We couldn't do this without you. You guys make our show. Everybody who submitted a film, you guys are awesome. For the people who did, the guy who submitted his first film, I think Jay, dude, seriously, keep it up. Everybody else, awesome work. We are a great community. Wedding filmmakers are better together. So stick together, encourage one another. Let's freaking do this. Have a great night.